Hi, in this video we're going to work out angles of elevation and angles of depression. Now what is meant by an angle of elevation and angle of depression? Well, let's just say you had a plane. So it's going to be a badly drawn plane. I cannot draw. I'm better at maths than I am at art. And let's just say that it's kind of flying horizontally like this. Then if you had, say, an object here, then if from the plane you're looking up from the horizontal towards this object here, then the angle of elevation would be this angle here that you're looking up from the horizontal. So this is the angle of elevation. And if you had an object that was below the plane, and from the plane you were facing in that direction, like this, then this angle here, let's do a different colour, this angle here is known as the angle of depression. So it's the angle you're looking down from the horizontal. So that's the angle of depression. And it's always relative to a particular object. So it's the angle looking up or down from the horizontal from an object in particular. So let's do this one first. Yara is on a boat 73 meters away from the foot of a vertical cliff. So let's draw that in. This length here is 73 meters. The boat is also 86 meters from the top of the cliff. So this is the top point of the cliff, and it's saying the boat is 86 meters away from that point, which is here, right? We want to calculate the angle of elevation of the top of the cliff from Yara's position. So Yara's here, and you want to know the angle of elevation of the top of the cliff from her position. So from this position, if you look horizontally, and now you're looking up, the angle of elevation is the angle Yara has to look up in order to then look up at the top of the cliff. So this is the angle we're trying to find. Let's call it theta. Theta is a Greek letter. We often use it as a variable letter for angles, unknown angles. So let's think how we do this. Remember, we label the sides of the right angle triangle relative to the angle of interest. So the angle of interest is this angle of elevation here. So these sides here, how do we label them? Well, the 86 is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. Yeah, by the way, this is a right angle triangle here. So the hypotenuse, the longest length, we label it as h. And this length here is next to this angle, or adjacent to this angle, we say. So we put an A for adjacent like this. And then if we use SOHCAHTOA, let's remind ourselves of SOHCAHTOA, that tells us which trigonometric ratio we should use. Now, we're involving A and H. A and H is this one. And remember, this is short for cos of theta, where theta is the angle of interest, is equal to A over H. Now, let's just substitute in our values. We've got cos of theta, we don't know theta yet, is A, which is 73, over H, which is 86. And remember, to get rid of this cos in front of the theta, because we're trying to work out theta, we do inverse cos of both sides. So inverse cos just cancels out the cos. So on the left-hand side, inverse cos cancels out the cos, just left with theta. And on the right-hand side, we've got to do inverse cos of 73 over 86. And if we do that, is 31.9 degrees. So the angle of elevation is 31.9 degrees. And that's that answer. Okay, what about this second one? Dhruv is on a boat 79 meters away from the foot of a vertical cliff. So let's draw that in. So this length here, he's 79 meters from the foot of the cliff. The boat is also 85 meters from the top of the cliff. So this is 85. Calculate the angle of depression of the boat from the top of the cliff. So now we're doing the angle relative to the top of the cliff, because it said from the top of the cliff. And the angle of depression is the angle we're looking down from the top of the cliff until we're facing the boat. So imagine we're at the top of the cliff here, facing horizontally, and then we rotate our head down until we're facing the boat, This will be the angle of depression here. Now, this is an angle that's not in this nice little triangle at the bottom here, because we've got this right angle triangle here, haven't we? So how do we work out the angle we're finding in this triangle? Well, do you remember something called alternate angles? Because we've got this nice little Z shape here, where the two ends of the Z are parallel, remember that alternate angles are equal. So the angles in this nice little Z are going to be equal. So this angle here would be equal to this angle here. So I'm going to put that in. That is the theta that I want to find. So it might help if I just kind of do this triangle separately. So we've got the 85, the 79, and the theta here. So let's label the sides again. As before, the longest length is the h, the hypotenuse, and this length is adjacent to the angle of interest. So it's going to be cos again, because we've got a and h. So we're going to write cos of theta is a over h, and then substitute in cos of theta is a, which is 79 over 85. And then we do inverse cos of both sides, written cos to the minus 1. To undo the cos, and we get theta equals inverse cos of 79 over 85, and that is equal to 21.7 degrees. So that is the answer. The angle of depression is 21.7 degrees.